What you doing?
Picking up trash. There's so much trash in these little spots. It's not cool at all. Right? There's even a piece of wire. Like what?
Ready? Come on. Let's go.
You got Winston? Oh, give me Winston. This is a little riverfront spot tucked away right off of the highway. This is a river that we would go out boating, kayaking, fishing, swimming. It's just a special spot. I have so many good memories of this place, especially with my dad. As many of you know, my dad passed away last year. We actually even scattered his ashes in this river. So this is our hometown river. This is the Indian River Lagoon. It's actually not a river at all. It is an estuary. It combines the Banana River, the Mosquito Lagoon, and the Indian River. This river estuary actually does span 156 miles. So there is a bunch of habitation in there. We got a lot of different animals, manatees, gators. Speaking of gators, I know a lot of you ask us about some of these places that we go swimming, and gators do prefer fresh water. The Indian River is brackish water, so it's not likely that you're going to see them out in this area. Of course, it's always possible. It's possible to see an alligator anywhere in Florida, but they don't like this area particularly, so we never worry about this, like gators being on this river.
Gators are in the springs that we were in. In our last video, we were swimming in Alexander Springs, and we saw your comments asking if there were gators there. Absolutely. As we're kayaking down, there will be gators on our right or left. We just try to be cautious and not go swimming when they're looking at me, but their intention is not to eat us, and we just have to have faith that we're gonna be okay and respect their time.
It's mostly about Winston. We try to keep Winston safe. Obviously, we don't really bring him to most Florida waterways at all. We would love to go kayaking with him, but I don't know, we're a little bit sketched out about it with Winston. What do you think?
We just want to protect them all that we can. And how Florida does this sound? The Banana River, the Mosquito Lagoon. I mean, that's as Florida as it gets. You know, Giulietta said that we grew up on this river. We grew up going past it, and until I met Giulietta's family, I never really went out on the river.
You didn't?
No.
Really?
Babe, you know that.
I didn't really know that.
Our family went to the beach, so my dad would always go surfing and we'd hang out at the beach, but my family never, ever, ever, ever went swimming in these rivers.
No way. I didn't know that.
You know
I did not know that.
I remember when your mom said, oh, let's go to the river and we can sit in the water, and my mom's like, what do you mean? Me
and my family would actually just post up at these little spots along the highway. We bring all of our chairs, we go fishing, we swim, we hang out, like we just have a little party, we barbecue.
It was so much fun. It was the first time I ever went tubing, and we would grill and we'd drink beers and we'd go to the little islands out here, and there were those railroad tracks that are really memorable to me. My
family also grew up with boats. My dad would like build boats out, and we would take them out to different islands, and then we'd just spend the day at the island. We'd be digging for clams, which we would eat later. We would fish. We mostly would just get stingrays, which we didn't eat those, and puffer fish, which are also poisonous, so you're not supposed to eat those either. But yeah, I just have great memories. This is a very nostalgic spot every time we're back in our hometown.
It's the new year, and I'm trying to incorporate new routines into my life. You know, most mornings I'll have my hot lemon water, and I try to skip coffee right when I wake up. I have an autoimmune disease, and I just know that inflammation is just something that ain't cute for me. It's not good. The doctors all say not to drink it. And to be honest, a couple hours after I drink coffee, I crash. What I'm trying to do is find something different. I've been using Magic Mind. It's a small little individual shot of liquid that has 12 ingredients in it. And it has things that are not coffee, and it hasn't been giving me that crash. So the part that gives you energy is matcha, and it's totally natural. That's the part that I really like about it. The point of drinking the Magic Mind is that you have increased energy, less stress. It ups your immunity, which is key for me because with my autoimmune disease, my immune system is crucial that it stays as strong as it possibly can. Also, being entrepreneurs, it's hard to stay motivated. It's hard to dial in sometimes. When no one's pushing you to be at work at 9 a.m., you're on your own schedule. So with Magic Mind, I've noticed that I stay tuned in, I'm motivated, which is huge. huge. The Bocapa Numiri is actually a natural nootropic. So this is what helps with your procrastination and your impulsivity. As far as the ingredients, the L-theanine in it is what you find in matcha, and it's actually nature's time release caffeine. So it doesn't hit you all at once. Next few hours after you drink it is when it steadily goes into your system. So it doesn't make you jittery and anxious. Some of the other ingredients are amazing. I mean, I'm talking lion's mane, ashwagandha. It's not super sweet. The sweetness that I'm tasting is the passion fruit that they add to it. And the matcha is actually ceremonial grade matcha, the best that you can get. It's a whole lot of good in one little container. If you want to try this for yourself, right now you can get a month free. In the description, we're going to have a link, and we'll also have our code. It gets you 1 month free when you buy 3-month subscription of this. If you do buy Magic Mind, it has a 60-day money back guarantee. So if you don't like it, get all your money back, but I bet you will. What time did you say it is?
Time to cook.
It's time to cook. We're going to be cooking on the water out here. It's kind of a stretch because it's windy and a little later in the evening. Are we gonna make it work? Yes, we are.
We're making an Asian style meal outside here on the river, and we're gonna be using some Angus beef steaks. We're gonna make some steaks, doing them umami style. We have an umami seasoning, and we have these Chinese eggplants that I just scored. We're also going to be making these gray oyster mushrooms. It should be like a delicious combination of vegetables and steak. Aren't they cool looking? Look at that thing. What we're going to do to season it up is use the ultimate, my very favorite, this Japanese barbecue sauce. This stuff, have you tried it? It's amazing. We usually just like marinate steak, marinate vegetables, a tofu in this, or even drizzle it on top of like a rice bowl. It's delicious.
I wanted to wait until our food was ready to do this beer review, but our refrigerator's not on. So I'm gonna drink it right now and get it as cold as I can. Actually, I don't want it.
You don't?
Okay, I do. Today we are drinking a hazy bear hug. This is by Goose Island in one of those variety packs I'm hooked on. This is 6.8%. Beautiful can. Let's try it. It's good. It's fruity. It's smooth. Nothing crazy about it. It's just really delicious. And it's not as cold as I dreamed, but it'll do the trick. Cheers. So I was just talking, and Giulietta noticed that the charcoals were right behind me, and she said, watch out. And I know in my heart, in my soul, how important it is to stay looking out for that. Because last year, Giulietta, it was so sad. It was so sad. She had a major disaster. Let's let her tell you about it.
It was actually 2 years ago, and I remember it just so vividly. We were cooking on the river, and I stepped on a hot coal.
I think it was more than one.
I don't know, it was quite a few, like they were like underneath the sand, but this time I have a bucket of water waiting to douse out any hot charcoals.
It was like this fight or flight reaction. I could tell it was hurting and she was shaking. It was so tragic. And then she had, I think, the biggest blister I've ever seen.
I really felt so silly. I felt so dumb for doing that. And honestly, we were just doing so many different things. Filming sometimes can just really take up a lot of your brain power and making sure everything is squared away, and I wasn't thinking, to be honest. It was just a mistake. Winston just hanging out, relaxing. What are you doing, baby? Are you sleepy? I am a big advocate of using a charcoal chimney if we're going to be cooking over coals rather than over a fire. And I mean, as you can see, all I did was lit up those little cubes, put them underneath, and then these coals are ready to go.
I ain't never felt a kind of love like this before. You took all the worries from my mind. Darling, please forgive me if I stare a little more. I can't look away from those brown eyes. And if we settle down, we don't have to settle down. Please don't be afraid of all the things that could go wrong. We can take our time and we may change our mind. But I can tell a good thing when a good thing comes along. Darling, tell me all about the dreams you had last night. You can be so restless in your sleep.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's beautiful.
I got these gray oyster mushrooms and I just looked up, let me turn on the light. I just looked up how to cook them and I saw online that they were pan fried. They just looked too good, so we moved this inside. Plus we're losing a little bit of heat on those coals. Every time I cook, you guys know I'm usually dropping something into the coals or the ash. I didn't this time. We added the oyster mushrooms just to the top of this steak. I think we're gonna save this one for later, share with my sister. What do you think?
Yes. These kind of look like little calamari. Vegan. Mmm. Crispy. Soft in the middle. Really, really satisfying. Mmm. Mmm. The scored eggplant over the fire. Mmm. Seasoned really nice. It gets rid of the sponginess when you cook it really well. Mm.
You know I couldn't resist cooking up a good steak over the grill. Wow. That's delicious. Mmm. This steak is delicious. We cooked that slow and low, but we still got a nice sear on it. Japanese barbecue sauce really put this slight sweetness and a little bit of spiciness. Definitely saltied it up. Wow. If you're gonna go get a steak, just splurge and get the better steak, because like for me and Amber, we can usually just share one steak, feel really satisfied, have a nice big veggie side. I'm into it. I mean, you do whatever you want to do. As a suggestion, I feel like steak, when you spend a little bit more money, so much better. Way more tender. This steak is super tender, right? Oops. Mmm. Winston! You like that?
Mmm. Did you love it? We love sharing it with you. You love the chicken?
Y'all know I love my coffee, and I'm sure you're wanting me to weigh in on this Magic Mind because I've been trying it for the last few days now. Actually been slowing down on my caffeine consumption. That doesn't mean my coffee, because I still have decaf, or I have half calf in the morning, or I actually will have this alongside just regular caffeinated coffee because it does help to kind of reduce some of that like jittery feeling. I don't necessarily get too jittery. It's more about like the feeling that I have about an hour and a half in, and sometimes it kind of makes my brain a little bit crazy. Like I feel just all over the place. It's hard for me to focus. So having this alongside it, the lion's mane in particular, really helps me to focus. If our honeys want to try this out, we do have the link in the description box, so go check out Magic Mind if you want to try something different.